Coming to you from Quarantine, New York, Unger the Radar presents Movie Commentaries starring Randy Unger. Tonight, Randy will be watching Terminator 2, Judgment Day, with special guest Pete Ayala. Grab your popcorn, dim the lights, it's movie time.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Unger the Radar, where we talk all things film. Actually, this is Unger the Radar presents Movie Commentaries, and this is actually our third commentary. We started off a few weeks ago with Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Last week we did Mrs. Doubtfire, but tonight we're going to be delving into the 1991 sci-fi action classic Terminator 2: Judgment Day, directed by the great James Cameron, or Jim Cameron, if you know him personally. It stars megastar Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got Linda Hamilton also reprising her role, and Edward Furlong plays her son, who is pursued by the liquid metal bad guy, the T-1000, played by the awesome Robert Patrick. And tonight, I just want to introduce my wonderful guest for tonight, Pete Ayala. Hey, Pete, how's it going?
Going well. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Are you ready to talk about this sci-fi classic?
Without a doubt. I've been looking forward to this. Love the original, love the first Terminator, love this movie. Brings back such great memories of being in middle school, and I remember actually seeing this movie in the theater. I was in karate at the time, and my sensei took me, who was a friend of my mom, knows your mom as well, Glenn Nieves, and he took like 5 of us to go see this. It was like a big thing. Like we'd never done something like that before, and we went and saw the movie, and everybody had their own popcorn, and we had watched the first one before we went to go see it, because a lot of us hadn't even seen the first one, didn't even know there was a different movie. You know what I mean? And it was mind blowing to see it in the theater. It was so. If you didn't get to see it in the theater when it first came out, I feel bad for you, because it was a movie meant, Cameron doesn't mess around. It was meant for the theater. It was meant for the theater.
And speaking of first experiences, this was actually my very first R-rated movie experience. My mother took me to see it. I was 6 years old. I was blown away. I thought it was amazing. And after that, my movie reviewing career kind of took off, I guess. But this film, it really stands the test of time. The first one, the Terminator from 1984, if you watch it now, it looks a little dated. It's very 80s, very gritty. It's a great film, but I don't think it holds up as well as this does. I think T2 is just much more polished. They know what they're doing here. They know what they're doing with the special effects, with the the practical effects, and it really holds up very, very well. And I'm very excited to do a commentary on this. Those watching at home, this is actually, we're going to be doing the theatrical version. There are 3 versions. There's the theatrical, there's the special, and there's the ultimate. There might be more, I'm not sure, but we're going to stick to theatrical because it's long enough. But so if you got the theatrical version, Blu-ray, DVD, or streaming, whatever, this is the theatrical version, clocking in at 2 hours, 17 minutes, 20 seconds, roughly. And the first thing you should see right now, Pete, you're at 0, right?
I am.
Okay, cool. I'm at 0 too, and we should see just nothing but black. And I'm going to count down from 3. And when I say play, we will push play. All right, guys, ready? 3, 2, 1, and play. The Carolco logo. Very nice. And this little musical bit you hear here is Jerry Goldsmith, great composer, Star Trek, Patton, Planet of the Apes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Upcoming is the Nuclear Nightmare. Very disturbing.
Which is perfect for rush hour in LA anyway. there anything creepier than a kid laughing?
Yes. Great cut here. Nice. So yeah, 7 years it took them to get this made. It's crazy. It's because the special effects, they didn't have the technology back in the 80s to really pull this off. So Cameron waited, and when he did The Abyss in '89, he finally got the technology from Industrial Light and Magic to do those like very fluid, silvery creatures, which would kind of morph into the T-1000. So, yeah.
What kind of patience is that, right? Like, I'm going to wait until I could do it right.
Crazy. That's an artist right there.
Right? I remember playing the video game, and the gun for the arcade, the gun looked just like the gun that T-800's carrying.
That was an awesome game, too.
So good.
It was a little bit repetitive, but you didn't care because you just wanted to keep killing these cyborgs.
Exactly.
Kill as many as you can.
Yeah. That was such a revolution of those games at the time. So shooting games, they all looked exactly the same. They were all super repetitive. You just changed whoever the bad guy was in it. So in Area 51, it was aliens, and then in Terminator, it was T-800s. Even the alien one was kind of the same too.
And then when you get the upgrade to the grenade launcher, like, oh my god, this is amazing.
That was the best. I would wear that button out, the grenade launcher, and just blow them all off before.
Oh, this movie looks so good.
It really does. Like, you're spot on when you talk about how the first one obviously looks super dated.
Yeah.
But that this one still holds up. The cinematography is just leaps and bounds better than the first one.
It's just it's a testament to the whole crew working on the movie. Like,
yeah,
crew teamwork went into this. They had a great captain at the helm.
Yeah, when you hear a guy's going to wait 7 years to make it so that everything is perfect, you kind of have your expectations drawn out for you. Like, do not mess this up.
It's just a shame Terminator 3 wasn't so great. But that's another story.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The opening titles, music by Brad Fidel, or Fidel. He did the score for the first one. And just a very good composer, very underrated. You don't really hear about him. He did the score for Fright Night as well.
No kidding. I love Fright Night.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
That was a Channel 11 movie, man. They used to show that all the time. Remember when we were kids, Channel 11? Oh, my goodness.
I remember The Burbs being on a lot. Channel.
That's your flick, man. Yeah, The Burbs. And Money Pit. They used to play that kind of Money Pit.
Love it. I love it. Those were like Sunday afternoons, right?
Yeah.
Saturday, Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. This is something that you don't see anymore, are these long intro scenes with music and background and stuff like that. Like, I thought it was so cool that the two Deadpool movies kind of did this. Like, when you look at those, like, they kind of harken back to this idea of having the intro, having those slow moving shots. And obviously that's done to be funny, whereas this is done to build drama. And, kind of build that feeling of what it must have been like that day. But you just don't see stuff like this anymore. You don't see these long, drawn out, showing the credits, taking time to. It's at the same time you're giving props to your crew. You're making sure everybody's name gets up there. It's
good.
Cool.
It's definitely very classy. I love the slow motion. It definitely is more dramatic than a lot of the stuff you see these days.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to say, you could tell the sound engineering got so much better from the first one to the second one. The industrial sound that you have in here is leaps and bounds better than the original.
Oh, yeah. And this won 4 out of 6 Academy Awards. So let's see here. Yeah, it won Best Sound and Sound Effects Editing. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
And they did the same kind of cut in the first movie with the truck, but Obviously, it looks a lot better here.
It's crazy how well it stands. Like, I didn't really think about it until you said it. And then the more I keep looking at it, I'm like, it looks so crisp.
Like, yeah, right. Like very clear, very fine. Just it's just beautifully remastered. Very well remastered film.
This is 92 or 93? 91. Yeah, see? How does this look like 91? Like, so many things in 91 look like they were made in 85. This looks like it was made in the 2000s.
Yeah, especially this with the spear burning through the truck.
Yeah.
Like, that looks amazing. That looks...
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
In the original one, it looked like, like neon string lights from, Big Trouble in Little China. But in here, it looks like something actually burned that truck.
But for the first film, that was James Cameron's first feature. So, I think he did a great job for that being his first film.
What was that, 84?
Yeah, 84.
I mean, come on. Like, you weren't going to make anything look better than the original looked in 84. And really, what else did you need? You had Arnold. He wasn't talking. He was scary. It's really what you needed for the first one.
Yeah.
It's just great. Like, this looks like they could have made it yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. And it's weird, too, because I think I saw this before I saw the first one. So, and I saw, like, around this time, it was, like, True Lies. It was, like, Predator and all these heroic type roles. And then when I go back to Terminator 1 and I see Arnold as a villain, I'm like, it kind of warped my mind a little bit. It was like, it was definitely.
Very awesome.
I was sort of rooting for Arnold in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Michael Biehn being in the first one and him being the hero up to that point in most of the things he was in, then it would have been very easy to just totally root for Arnold in the first one too. Like, nah, get her, man, get her.
Nice.
This is great.
And I think WWE reenacted this sequence for something or other. I don't know what. But I was on the Wikipedia page earlier and I read about that. This movie has been parodied and paid homage to in various shows like The Simpsons and Family Guy.
Oh yeah.
It's just a very iconic film.
Yeah. One thing I really like about this too is like Arnold had he puts the glasses on immediately in the first one and he doesn't have to show a lot of emotion. In this one, you really see his face a lot more. And there's no getting away from him having to have that look on his face the whole time. Like, he's not that stalwart of a guy. Like, you've heard him in interviews. He's kind of a fun-loving dude. And to see him not change his face, it's just a testament to he became a better actor over those years.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not Academy Award-winning actor, but I mean, he got so much better the first time when it was just like, don't talk, wear the sunglasses, and kill people. This one, they're like, we need to see you.
That's a good point. Yeah, but since 84, so okay, between the first Terminator and this, there's definitely been an evolution to his acting style. Yeah. And even though he's very serious here, he does deliver the jokes.
Right.
One-liners are flying in this one.
Yeah, everything lands. Everything that he does lands in this one. And it feels authentic,
Yeah.
Like, look at his, if you look back at that scene again, like if you rewind, his eyes don't move, his facial expression, his forehead, everything stays exactly the same. I would have flinched just trying to grab something out of somebody's hand that quickly. I would have flinched myself moving that. And like, he doesn't, I don't know how many takes it took, but it looks great.
Yeah. And this is just a perfect combination. The motorcycle, the jacket, the glasses, the gun, and the song.
Yeah, because it gives it way more personality. Obviously, they probably couldn't afford the rights to a lot of songs for the first one, and they didn't need a lot of that. This needed to appeal to a greater, a larger base. These were people coming to see an Arnold movie that have already seen 10 Arnold movies at that point.
And I'm saying this because I'm biased, and I was 6 years old, but this movie, it really spoke to me because it felt like something I would like reenact with action figures, you know, like these epic battles of cyborg versus man. And they actually had a line of action figures based off of this movie. Even though it's a very violent and disturbing movie, it has some appeal to children. It's kind of weird to say. You know,
it's funny because you're wearing the RoboCop shirt, and like I had the RoboCop action figure. I had those action figures. I had a T-800. I had a couple of the aliens when the Alien line came out. Like they all looked to be I don't know if they were all the same company that made all the toys, but they were all had the same.
Most of them were Kenner.
Right? Yeah, because So I just they did a great job.
They did.
Yeah,
poor cop.
He's so good, man.
Robert
he played this part well too.
Yeah.
What?
He was this is I think his second movie or one of his first movies, but the year before he did this, 1990, he was a henchman in Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Yeah.
So that's where he pretty much got his start, and I guess somebody liked his role in that. It was a very short role. He gets killed, but he's a good villain.
They were like, I bet he can hold that face for a while. And it's like, yep, done. But even he has to be more like, that's where you see later on in this movie that he has more emotion, whereas the T-800 doesn't have that, so it shows his further sophistication, the 1000 over the 800.
Right. They wanted to make him more, he's obviously a more advanced Terminator. So they want to make him, thinner, sleeker, a little bit younger, I guess, looking.
Yeah, fits in more. Not built to be, a killer, built to be something that can infiltrate and manipulate.
Yeah. And brilliant that he picks a police officer as his persona.
Yeah.
That so people can immediately trust you, welcome you into their homes, and it's pretty crazy. Oh, and this is this actress here, Jeanette Goldstein. She was actually in Aliens. She played Vasquez.
Oh, that's right. That's so funny. As soon as you said it, I was like, well, yeah, duh. Yeah. She's totally Vasquez.
She was so good in Aliens, too. I kind of wish she had a bigger part in this.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's in it at all, because she's awesome.
Yeah.
And the father is Xander Berkeley, who you probably see him in, like, supporting roles. He was in Air Force One. He played the crooked Secret Service guy. And he had a small part in Apollo 13.
And then, of course, that redheaded kid from Different Strokes.
Danny Cooksey.
Yeah, well, as soon as I saw him, I was like, what?
Side note, I actually interviewed him and Edward Furlong at Monster Mania last fall. So they were awesome. They were very cool, yeah. So very nice guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a very ripped Linda Hamilton. She worked out for like a couple of weeks, like maybe I think a few months actually, to get in shape for the role.
Yeah.
She did like hardcore military workouts and crazy diets to really get ripped.
Which is just, it's funny because it's so out of character for her in terms of other roles that she's played.
Especially the first one where she plays like this young kind of, innocent type.
Naive, just whatever. And now she's like, she knows everything. She's hardened.
Yeah.
She has way too much experience. She knows way too much more than everybody around her. And it's just,
He's basically a female version of Rambo at the end of this, Just kicking ass.
Yeah.
And Dr. Silberman from the first film, who never believed in her.
No.
He passes Arnold in the waiting area in the police station in the first one. He just walks by Arnold right before Arnold says the "I'll be back."
He's such a jerk. Like he's perfect as an antagonist in this. Like who does this? Who would come around and just like be so antagonizing to say good morning to her and just Yeah, he's just weird.
Prick.
Yeah. He's a perfect prick. That's exactly what he is. Like, you right off the bat don't like him.
One of the few good things about Terminator 3 was him reprising his role in that.
Mm-hmm.
it didn't save the film ultimately.
No, nothing did. I was actually a really big fan, and I'm like alone on an island with Salvation. I was a big fan of Salvation.
You know what? First time I saw it, I was not a fan myself, but a couple of years later, I revisited it. I actually liked it a lot. I think it stands alone, and it's after part 2. I think it's one of the best Terminator.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right. It stands alone. Like it doesn't.
Because it's it's a sequel, but it takes place way into the future, 2029, I think.
See that scene right there when he says, "It's a good-looking boy." Like that's so manipulative. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Looking boy, you mind if I hold on to this picture? It's just. It just goes to show that he doesn't have that emotionless, drive that the T-800 has.
Right. He's a little more patient, I guess.
Yeah, he's learning human behavior and kind of mimicking that.
It's good performance from Patrick.
Yeah, this Atari thing right here. I had a friend that had one of these.
Early hacking.
Yeah,
that's great. Teaching kids how to commit bank fraud.
Oh yeah, I can totally steal money out of an ATM with a Game Boy. Like, no, you can't. Okay, whatever.
Oh my. And I read that he's supposed to be 10 here, but I think it's more 12 or 13.
Yeah, he's got to be more like a 13-year-old riding a dirt bike around and stuff. Like,
yeah.
Great shot from the end of the first movie right there.
Nice continuity.
Nice little Easter egg of the of that very last scene where the kid takes a picture of her.
And I think there's a scene in the first one where John Connor or somebody, there's just a fire in the future in one of those sequences, and the photo gets burned. I think that might have been the first film.
I do love the Guns N' Roses song that they beat it a little to death, but it was a pretty big song.
Oh, that they're playing on the bike?
You Will Be Mine, yeah, or whatever. I don't even think it was on an album. I think it was just the soundtrack.
Huh.
But the music video, he's actually in it. Arnold's in it, and he's walking through the crowd. If you ever get a chance, check it out.
Okay. Little supplemental.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, speaking of supplemental, if you ever got a chance back then when we were still kids, if you ever had a chance to ride the Judgment Day ride at Universal, Cameron brought them back, like got them to all come back to do those scenes. And I was like, how cool is that? Like they were all like, yeah, we're there. Edward Furlong's like 15 when he's doing his he's like 15 or 16 years old, so you can see he's older, but they tried to make him look a little younger. That was great.
Great. That whole film was only 12 minutes, but it was such a great 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It was back in 1996. That was one of the rides at Universal. I think it was Florida and California.
Yeah, and I rode it in Florida.
Only Florida?
No. I'm saying I rode it in Florida. I rode it in Florida.
And up until that point, I think Back to the Future was my favorite ride.
Mm-hmm.
T2 3D was, man, that was a great ride. It really, like this movie, it just blew me away. Like that's the power of Cameron. Like every time he just ups it a notch,
Yeah. I've still not had a chance to ride that Avatar ride, but man, do I want to ride that ride.
Yeah. I didn't love Avatar, I mean, I want
the movie itself.
Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like the ride, I can imagine, like with everything that he put into the T2 ride, and that was his baby, and he had the same input on Avatar. I'm sure the ride has to be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely gives 110% in anything he does.
Yeah. I was always surprised they didn't do some sort of Titanic experience. Like that always like, as many people love that movie, you would have thought they would have done something because it was so big and grand. And I think maybe he was just like,
Well, I mean, it's not a ride, but I think they were doing or are planning on doing Titanic 2, like an actual a recreation of the ship. and I think they are going to take the same route. I heard this. I think this is a rumor. I don't know, but I think that might be as close as a Titanic ride you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's not something you want to recreate.
No. Yeah. See, this scene always kills me because I just keep thinking the whole time when you're watching it, like, man, like she doesn't sell it hard enough, and that's why she gets caught up, and then she loses it again, and ends up getting, you know, bumped back in time. Like, I get what she was trying to do here. She's like, I'm trying to build it up, and maybe I can get out, and then she just screws it up at the end and loses her shit again, and it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You were so close.
It's crazy.
So close.
Don't believe her. Why don't you just tell them about Dyson, you know, and Skynet?
Right.
She doesn't have all the details.
Right. Yeah.
But they know.
Yeah.
They've got the chip. They've got the arm.
Yeah. Love this guy.
Yeah, Joe Morton.
Joe Morton's the man.
He was he played the lieutenant or the captain in Speed.
Yeah, Speed. Yeah.
He's a great character actor.
I like how they used him. You know, his character in the King Kong movie. He comes back in the Godzilla. You know, the second Godzilla movie that just came out a couple of years ago.
Not Skull Island.
No, his character is in Skull Island as a young man, and then later on, it's Joe Morton plays him as an older man in the Godzilla movie, still working for Monarch, and yeah. Okay. It was a cool. It was like, oh, I wonder who's going to play him in Godzilla, and then it's Joe Morton. I was like, awesome. The guy that plays him as a young man, I forget his name. He's been in a bunch of stuff. He was in the NWA movie. He plays Dr. Dre in the NWA movie.
I don't know.
He's other things, but anyway, Joe Morton plays him all grown up.
Cool.
Because he's the only character that was in both movies. So he saw Kong at Skull Island, and now he's seeing Godzilla and all these other kaiju, you know, tearing up the planet. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Gonna have to revisit that.
Yeah. King of the Monsters. That's what the second Godzilla is called. What was it called? Godzilla King of Monsters.
Gotcha. She looks so sweet there. Like I feel, you do really feel bad for her.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever explained like what happened at the very end of the first Terminator. Like, did some kind of FBI team or somebody come in and snatch the evidence away? Like, and
the arm and the chip and all of that stuff.
What happened there?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like, what's the cover up? Like, that's one part of the story there that got kind of left on the. Yeah, see, this part always bugged me. I'm like, you were so close.
But yeah, that's a pretty big detail. The evidence.
Yeah.
Oof. Very good physical acting from everybody.
See, they're actually riding in Chavez Ravine. You know, like, that's cool. You know, obviously they're already in Hollywood, so it's not. They're in LA. They can obviously tape in LA, but
yeah,
it's cool that they actually went out in location and were in the ravine. It's so funny when you see a stunt double and you can so tell it's not him.
I know. There's a shot where he rescues John from the.
When he picks him up off of the dirt bike.
Oh, and this girl here, Nikki Cox, the red hair.
Nikki Cox, man. Oh yeah.
Unhappily Ever After.
Happily Ever After. Love that show.
Yeah. So
such a rip off of Married with Children, but so good.
Still a fun show. I used to
Oh yeah.
On WB11 back in
Yeah, that was after it was WPIX. It turned into WB. Bobcat Goldthwait as the.
Yep, Mr. Floppy.
Yeah, Mr. Floppy.
I think we're dating ourselves here, Pete.
A little bit. Oh, Mickey Cox was so hot.
Yep.
So hot.
Slight celebrity crush there. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, and the scene where they meet for the first time, where they start shooting at each other. Oh my god.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes to play. Like if I were ever to like break in a sound system, that's the scene I play to test it out.
The crunching of the roses and
the music.
Yeah, the clicking of the shotgun.
And the pistol, T-1000's pistol.
Yep.
It's just great.
Afterburner. Awesome game, by the way. I used to love Afterburner.
I've played it, but it's like all over the place. I can't really focus on what I'm doing.
It used to have a warning that if you had vertigo not to play it, and I remember getting into it so much sometimes playing it that I did feel like I flipped upside down.
Jesus, that's not good.
I don't know, or was it awesome? Like, because it would throw you to one side and then kick you while the camera flipped upside down, so you almost felt like you flipped upside down. The responsiveness of that game for its time was amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. Speaking of arcades, you ever been to Barcade in the city?
No, everybody tells me about it. I've never been.
Oh, you'd love it. It's fun. They don't have Afterburner, but they've got some good games. So like Simpsons, X-Men, Tetris.
We got ones here called right here. The crunching of it. It's so good.
One of my favorite scenes of all time. I love it.
But the we have something called the Social Circuit down here, which is kind of like a grown person's arcade. It's pretty good.
Huh. I'll have to check that out sometime.
It actually has Afterburner.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. Awesome. Look at the editing.
Poor kid.
God. He was just on his lunch break.
Yeah, like, Jesus.
Poor guy.
It's so good. It's so funny because the shotgun he's using is so impractical. So impractical. Like the fact that you have to cock it like that every time. It's just, if you were a machine that was built to kill, you would not pick that as your weapon.
And I love the shell casings. They're blue. I think if they're red, they're real. If they're blue, they're blanks. I don't know. I think that's a thing I once noticed. It's weird. And it's like cardboard wall.
Yeah. I know. It's like you had to skimp on some things, I guess.
That looks good.
Even that's it. Yeah, your background right there. There it is.
Everything about this is great.
Yeah.
I'd say the editing and the music, just everything about it.
I love his Frankenstein walk as he walks back into the store. He's got such a Frankenstein walk to him.
I know he's big, he's awkward, but
I was for sure he was going to get him. I was like, he's going to catch him.
I mean, couldn't he just like extend a very long blade and just get him off the bike?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, is there a limit to the length he can go?
Oh, yeah. I think it has something to do with, like, he does have a finite amount of material to him.
Yeah.
They said, like, he can't do complex things. Like, he can't turn into a bomb and blow himself up. Yeah. I think I don't know. It must work like, metal alloy. Like, there's got to be an extent to it where it runs out.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe him running at the same time and not being able to do two things at once.
I mean, I think that's Cameron coming up with his own science. What?
That seems to be the case with a lot of these, directors and producers. Like, they're like, oh no, this is how it works and this is why. It's like, what? Okay, all right.
It's science.
We're buying in. We're already here. You got our money, so we're buying in.
As long as it looks cool, it'll get people in the seats. And these car effects, just crashing into all these cars.
Yeah. Yeah, why are you slowing down? That I never understood. Eddie Furlong, he was like on fire for 5 minutes back then. Remember, he did this, did Pet Sematary, he did that Vision movie, where the video game movie.
I think I just know from this, really. Didn't he got involved in drugs? And
Yeah, that was the problem.
sad.
Which is funny because the kid that plays his character in the third movie has a drug problem in the movie, and I'm like, you should have just got Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's got a drug problem right now. He would have been perfect.
That would have made total sense.
Like, it would have been perfect casting. He would have looked all, like, hey, man, we know you're kind of strung out, but get your shit together. We need to this third movie.
Yeah. That would have helped with the continuity.
Yeah. I think it was the age difference, though, because Claire Danes was so big at the time. Like, she was a big draw having her as the female lead.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they got the kid they got. Like, he wasn't really big in anything at the time, but you needed somebody who was kind of age appropriate for Claire Danes, I guess, which I thought they were kind of the same age.
I think Furlong would have been great with Danes. They're about
I think so too. I'm thinking from their standpoint, maybe they were like, it's not going to work.
I think Furlong might have been a liability.
I think that's really the situation.
Yeah, he didn't really look his best when I interviewed him, but
No, he's had a rough life, man. But I've seen him do some interviews and talk about, it's hard being a kid actor, being asked for so much at such a young age, and his work schedule was insane. Like him doing this and Pet Sematary and that other movie that I can't think of the name of right now, but all of that stuff was like back to back to back, and he was still a young kid, like.
Well, he said that when he was cast for T2, he was kind of just thrust into it. Like some casting agent saw him somewhere and really just discovered him. And he was just like a young kid at the time. Like, I mean, it seems like a lot, if not, most celebrities at young ages get involved with drugs. It's sad.
Yeah.
Because they're
a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and they're exposed to that world, going to parties and meeting people.
Yeah, way too young.
Yeah.
Way too young.
Sad.
I can't imagine being in situations that these kids are in. Yeah,
I love it. I love that.
The transition, it's like that's not him. Oh yeah, it is him again.
Look at Luke Perry.
Oh, rest in peace, Luke Perry.
Yeah, rest in peace.
So sad.
Oh, and this scene right here, because of the sound design, I think they still have it actually. There's an exhibit at the Museum of Moving Image where you can play with the audio from this scene and like insert like goofy sound effects. Like a funny scene, and this was one of the scenes that they had on the exhibit.
So like he runs into the thing and it's like boing.
It's great. It's great.
And then the tire comes out. It's like wah, wah.
Pretty much.
Awesome. That's in the city?
Queens.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's out by you. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think they're closed right now, unfortunately, for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons.
But it's a really cool museum, guys. It's like the history of film and TV, and they've got these interactive things going on. The last time I was there, they came out with the 2001: A Space Odyssey. Like they had props from the film. They had like diaries from Stanley Kubrick. It was amazing. It's very cool. But whenever it opens up, hopefully it'll open up soon. Yeah. I recommend it, Pete. It's great. Yeah.
He's so tiny in comparison. You don't realize how little of a kid he is at the time.
And Arnold's pretty tall too. This is Arnold in his prime. He's like mid-40s, he's in perfect condition right now. He just looks great.
How funny is that too, to say that he's in his prime in his mid-40s? Like he really is. He does his best acting in the 90s and his best movies, True Lies, this and what is it? So even Last Action Hero, like all of them, like he looks awesome in them. He does whatever he's supposed to do very well in those movies. They're not all great movies, but he does himself very well in all of those movies.
I'd say his last really good movie was probably in 1999, End of Days.
Dude, it's you and me and nobody else. I feel like it's just you and me on that island. Every time I talk to people about End of Days, they're just so hard on it, and I'm like, what?
Because of the religious stuff, it's not that religious, right? I mean,
I guess I don't know. Like, you know, just people seem like it's too forced because he's like, it's like they try to jam the Terminator into, you know, this weird sci-fi religious, and I'm like, you completely missed the point.
It's badass middle-aged Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Satan. I mean, what more do you need?
What more do you need? And the chick from The Craft. I love Robin Tunney.
Robin Tunney, yeah.
I love her.
And Gabriel Byrne.
In love with back in the day. What?
Gabriel Byrne as which is so funny because he's the priest in Stigmata like the same year. And I love Stigmata. Love that movie too. Never seen that one. I have to check that one out.
I feel like they both of those movies kind of got a raw deal because they came out towards the end of the year. It was during the what is it, the
Y2K?
Y2K, thank you. I was like, what do we call that? The Y2K. So everybody was kind of, Stigmata kind of fed into the Y2K. End of Days definitely fed into the Y2K. You know, like a lot of movies try to capitalize on it, and I think people just got sick of it. It was like an overexposure of the Y2K thing. So
yeah. It was just really well done.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Like, it was like I think it was an action horror film because there are some really graphic scenes. Remember the scene with the guy on the ceiling, you know, like a cross, like all bloodied. It's disturbing.
Yeah.
That might be a movie that we can do a commentary on in the future.
Done. I'm in. I'm totally in.
Yeah.
I have the movie in there. In my house, and I have the soundtrack on CD upstairs.
Nice.
Love End of Days.
Yeah.
There's a really good Eminem track on there that I love from early Eminem. Oh, this is so good.
I love this. Yeah.
I have the.
When I saw it as a kid, this scene freaked me out. I think the most out of any other scene in the movie, just the fact that they just get killed in their kitchen, like. Just the way it's done. It's just it really stuck with me, and it's really just creepy.
Hope he's fine.
Yeah. Vasquez, what are you doing?
Yeah, the close-up is perfect.
Your foster parents are dead.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. And the tilting of the head towards him.
Mm.
Oh,
my
graphic. That is graphic. Like, I thought it was weird that I got to watch this at 11. Actually, I think it was still 10 because it came out in the summer. I think it came out right before my birthday.
Uh-huh.
And, so I was 10 years old. I was like, we probably shouldn't be watching this. Like, as I saw the knife through his face, I was like, yeah. It's different watching a guy get shot in the hallway, but having it shoved through his face in the milk container was just, it was a bit jarring.
I mean, the way these two play off each other is great. It's just a great father-son type relationship, you know? I mean...
Moving parts. Doesn't work that way. Like, you couldn't even get rid of the V sounding on the W words. Doesn't work that way. So good. Look how much bigger he is. That's when he was still, like, heavy working out. He had just won, Mr. Olympia, like, 3 years before that. He was just a monster of a man.
Yeah. Good shape.
There's a picture. I got an autographed picture of Arnold hanging on the wall over there. I'll bring it over.
Oh, cool. I saw him at a press conference once for the movie Maggie.
Yeah.
When he walked into the room, he had this presence, like everybody stopped.
Yeah.
He walks in, good morning, everyone. He's like, he didn't even have to say anything. He just walked in and he come into the room. It was crazy.
Yeah. There's some people that can, like, they can capture the attention of a room with their voice and things, and then there's just people with their presence. And Arnold's like, he's the equivalent of Morgan Freeman's voice as a human being. He can just walk in and ensnare everybody.
I don't know if Arnold and Morgan ever did a movie together.
I don't think so.
That'd be awesome. I think that'd be great.
Some version of the Expendables way down the road.
Oh God.
Like, wait a minute, Morgan Freeman was never in action movies. It was like, who's in Robin Hood? Oh,
Prince of Thieves. Nice.
That's a deep cut right there. Prince of Thieves.
You know, I think I saw it once on VHS when I was really little.
Yeah.
I didn't love it back then. I don't know. But
aren't you a Rickman guy? Don't you
Rickman was a phenomenal actor. It was very sad when he passed.
Oh,
and I might have to revisit Prince of Thieves because
just for him.
Yeah, and I like Costner. I mean, you know, Field of Dreams, right?
Love Costner. Wait for you to make contact material. It's great. It's good stuff.
This is a good, yeah. Jock douchebags.
Yeah.
It takes so long to get over there, though. Like, he's yelling right now.
Right.
And it takes them, like, much longer to get there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You told me to. Like, he could just be himself, and he'll be hilarious.
You're right. This scene goes on way too long. Like, what thinking those guys?
They should
so long over there. I mean, the scene's gold. I'm saying, but in the background, why are those guys like?
They're just watching this.
Yeah. Watch that guy get his leg up.
Yeah, there they go.
What a diff.
Oh, 90s. The outfits, I love it. The hair.
Yeah.
It's weird. He looks better. Arnold looks better here than he did like in Total Recall, which was a year before.
Yeah.
Or even in Twins, which was in 1988.
Yeah.
He looks perfect.
Yeah.
In his hair.
Right.
You know?
Just could be the budget.
Yeah. Well,
better.
They paid Arnold $15 million for this movie. That was his price tag.
Wow.
They gave him it was like a Gulfstream jet, and then a couple extra million, and he's insanely rich.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane.
And Furlong probably got, I don't even know, a couple thousand.
Who knows, right?
Yeah. I think Hamilton got $1 million, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow. Surprised she didn't get more than that. I mean, she's a pivotal. I mean, I guess she's not that big a part of the movie, but
yeah,
I think she's worth. If he was worth 15, I'd say she'd at least be worth 20% of that.
Yeah, or maybe even half or a quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the blue lighting all throughout. That's so Cameron.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
cold. It's industrial. It's metallic. Yeah.
They used it to great effect in the final sequences of Titanic, where they're basically freezing to death.
Yeah.
So, and they use it in True Lies as well, The Abyss, Alien, all of his movies.
Yeah.
It's great. I guess it's safe to say Cameron's an auteur. He's, a filmmaker with his own style.
Right.
Many people, I think, have said he's a genius. I mean, he's creating technology as it goes along. Like, it's like he's
always on the bleeding edge of everything.
Like
that part creeped me out so bad when I watched this originally. I remember thinking, like, why did that guy do that? Like,
Yeah.
that's so gross and weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry, I just had to say it because it just creeped me out since day one. I was like, if one of the Terminators comes in and kills this guy, I will not be sad. But yeah, like, it's so weird. Like, who was like, let's make this super creepy orderly. But yeah, no, like everything he did was just always on the bleeding edge every time. With this movie, with Titanic, with Avatar, like all of those things brought new technologies to light at their time.
Right.
You know, it's you know, you got to give it.
What I heard about Avatar 2, this might be another rumor, but I don't know if you heard, he might be coming out with glassesless 3D. So basically, you won't need glasses to watch it in 3D.
I mean, you can do that with art. Like, you could do that with still photos, but you can't do that. Like, I can't even imagine how you would do that with actual moving picture.
Are you talking about the 3D artwork that you have to like squint to?
No, I don't even mean like well, yeah, like that's perspective, but I mean like even just certain things you could do, like colors that you could do on top of other colors that make things look like they have depth.
That's cool.
You could do that pretty well because usually that's what 3D bases it on. It's the difference in colors and the depths of things,
Right.
the depth of that color versus this color, the density, whatever it is, and
Like the red and the blue, right?
yeah, like you can't, but you like I just don't see how you could do that with moving pictures without having those filters over your eyes. So
I mean, I'm sure Cameron's going to figure it out, but
yeah.
that's exciting.
It is. If he pulls it off, I'll be the first one in line. I will be the first one in line to see that.
Yeah. Okay, and this actor here, the cop, he's actually one of two twins. And
yeah, they're both in the movie.
yeah, he's a real twin. So the scene where you see the T-1000 mimic him, that's his brother.
Yeah, how cool is that?
He was also in, they were in Gremlins 2, The New Batch. Yeah, they had a weird scene where they played like scientists. But yeah, twins. It's pretty good. That looks great. I remember that looked exactly the same in 1991.
Yeah.
And it's looking amazing coming out of the ground.
This and when I think back to like when I'm looking at a movie in real time and saying, I can't believe this looks the way it looks, it always goes back to this and the first Jurassic Park. For me, it's always going to be those two movies, always. Because they were both just way ahead of their time in terms of what they were doing.
Game changers, for sure.
Yeah. Pure game changers.
And you know what? So this came out 91, Jurassic Park 93.
Yeah.
In between both of these was Death Becomes Her. That won Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards 92.
Goldie Hawn and
Bruce Willis, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep, yeah. Goldie Hawn's walking around with the busted neck. Oh my God.
Yeah. That won an Oscar.
As well it should. It was so creepy.
Yeah. And Goldie Hawn with the gigantic hole in her body.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, she had the big hole. Oh no, so was it Meryl Streep walking around with the busted neck?
Yeah,
or was
that was
yeah.
Meryl.
Yeah, Meryl Streep had the when I saw it, it hurt my body to see it.
It was so cool looking though.
It was. No, you're spot on. It looked awesome. Oh, finally he's gonna get it.
He's gonna get some justice. Pervert. I'm not sure if he dies. I think she just really hits him badly.
Yeah, she just knocks him out.
Yeah.
But I just remember the first time I saw it, I was like, I hope he doesn't make it. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's probably not dead, but he's not gonna wake up happy.
Yeah, see, he makes like a moaning noise just so you know he's still alive. Okay. Because those were pretty vicious hits. Like they could have killed him. Yeah,
none of the staff at the hospital dies. I just realized. Actually, no, that's not true. The security guard dies.
Yeah, the cop dies.
Yeah, I think the front gate guy dies, but all the orderlies I think survive.
Yeah.
She's very good.
Yeah.
Just
Like I still haven't seen Genesis, and I'm going to eventually, but only because she's in it. Only because they're both actually in it.
if you're curious about where they're taking the franchise, I recommend it. But for me, it ended at Salvation. Like that was the last Terminator film. Dark Fate came out last year. Terrible, in my opinion.
Oh, no, that's what I meant. Dark Fate I hadn't seen. But Genesis, no. Genesis, he's in Genesis. That's right. He is in Genesis.
He's the older version.
Yeah, he's in Genesis, and then they're both in Dark Fate, right?
Yeah, she comes back.
Hamilton comes back for that.
And Cameron comes back as producer.
I know. And that's
It's sad because it's a terrible movie.
exactly. That's the saddest part about it, because everyone was pumped when it came out because Cameron signed on to at least produce it. And they were like, well, yeah, it won't be his exact vision, but he'll have enough say in it. And he clearly did not.
Did not. I mean, see it at your own risk, Pete. That's all I'm gonna say.
I probably won't. But the Genesis one I'll see, because I just never got around. I watched the other, I watched 3 Rise of. Actually, I found out when I thought I had this, I didn't, because I think I loaned it to somebody and never got it back. But I have Rise of the Machines. I have 3, and I don't know why. I think it was when I was in the Navy. I think maybe somebody left it in my room or something like that, because like I have some movies over there that I'm like, I never bought this crap movie. I feel like Freddy Got Fingered. I was like, I know I didn't buy that piece of garbage. So, Tom Green.
They really should have just extended Salvation universe.
That was the one I liked.
They kept going in that direction. I think it would have been really good.
Yeah. I wasn't crazy about like all of the acting, but I mean, the 3 main characters, having
Bale.
Yeah, Bale was great, and I love what's her name, Ron Howard's daughter, Bryce.
Alice Howard, yeah.
Love her.
And Anton Yelkin, the late great Anton.
Rest in peace. Yeah, no, he was good. I forget about him. I mean, I don't forget about him. I forget that he's a really good part of that movie too.
He died way too young, at 27.
That was sad, man, because he was
so good too.
In Star Trek, he was so good.
Yeah. Sad.
He was a pleasant surprise. Both him and the Australian dude, I always forget his name, that plays
Eric Bana?
No. Oh no, yeah, I forget Bana's in that too. No. Oh man, this is gonna kill me. He played Dredd in the new Judge Dredd.
Oh, he was Bones, right?
Yeah, he's Bones. What's his name?
Oh,
damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor. He was great. Like they just put the right people in those movies.
Yeah. I didn't see Beyond, but I heard that was awesome. I only saw the first.
I haven't seen it either. Yeah, I saw the second one because I was like, "What, Cumberbatch? Yeah, I'll watch that." Cumberbatch is Khan. Shut up. I'm in. They were good. I thought they were very good.
Okay. Yeah, I think I only saw the first one.
Yeah. I'll watch the second one. Cumberbatch is awesome in the second one.
The villain? Is he the villain?
You'll have to just watch it.
Okay.
You'll have to just watch it.
You
almost got me there for a second. You'll have to just watch it.
Okay. Oh, and here comes
But in the originals, yes, Khan is a bad guy. He is a villain in the originals.
All right. So this is coming up as my second favorite action scene and scene to play during testing of a sound system. It all boils
definitely the scariest. Her screaming and her fear in her face is just. She plays this. She deserved an Oscar for this, man. She plays this so well.
Well, she would have been in contending with Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs. Pretty stiff competition.
Lose.
It's great.
Ah,
Oh, love it. Love it.
that takedown scares the hell out of me. Like, she could have really cracked her skull open on that. She was a badass in this.
Yeah. Not sure how many stunt doubles there are, but
Hold her. Oh, I hate him.
that's a trick. Whoop.
That dude he just threw in the window, he was in a bunch of stuff too in like the
I was
90s.
about to say, he looks very familiar.
Yeah.
Oof.
I love this. Whoop! That's it. There go the glasses for a while, so we're going to have to see his face. Like, he's going to have to go back to really selling all the facial expressions. Oh, so good. So much better than when Michael Biehn says it in the first movie. He's all like, come with me if you want to live.
Just wanna.
You want to live.
Arnold is more want to live.
Yeah, want to live.
Oh, 1991. Look at these visual effects. So good.
And this is that's Cameron right there. Like, the gun's going to get stuck. He's going to have to move his hand. Like, it's so smart. So smart.
But wouldn't the gun be liquid metal too?
No, because the gun was the cop's gun.
But
It's not made of him.
But the uniform was also the cops, no?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's weird. You're right. That's a really good point. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because I don't know. Oh, no, you know what? The cop's uniform isn't his uniform. Remember, he says all he has to do is touch him and he can replicate him completely. So that means the fabric, the helmet, whatever it is, he can replicate everything about it. But the gun, being a complex weapon with moving mechanical parts, he cannot.
I see.
So that actually is smart. Like, that's James Cameron paying attention. Like, oh, yeah, no, that gun has to get stuck back there because it's not a part of him at all.
You, Cameron.
Yeah.
Always one step ahead.
Oh!
Yeah, she gets screwed up in this movie. She gets she gets shot, stabbed, thrown all over the place.
Yeah, she gets messed up.
Licked. Her face gets licked.
Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Why is he still waiting? That's the worst part. It's like, she just shot at you. Could have shot you right in the face. Oh.
Oh.
What I wonder is, and I don't know if this information is anywhere, how heavy is a T-1000?
Ooh, good question.
You know, based on the density, you know, just like how heavy would he actually be? And they never say what kind of metal he is. They just say he's a liquid metal alloy, but they don't say, like, any liquid metal has to be hot all the time. So how?
A mimetic polyalloy, according to Wikipedia.
Mimetic polyalloy. Yeah, but see, poly, all that means is just a lot of different metals. There's no metal that can move. And I mean, I get it. I'm not trying to argue science here. But every metal, which is why it doesn't make any sense that he dies at the end in the molten, because any metal to be able to move like that has to be heated up. So what metal is he made out of that when he hits extreme heat, instead of being able to be more malleable, he just disintegrates?
Good question.
Things that bother me 30 years later. 30 years. 30 years.
Well, this movie definitely ages well.
30 years and it still looks great.
Yeah.
Even the scene with Dyson, that's another just fantastic scene.
They've already come up with at least 3 versions. What could they possibly do for the 30th? I'm curious.
Yeah.
We'll see what Cameron pulls out of his magic hat.
As long as he doesn't try to pull some George Lucas ridiculousness and throwing extra things in it. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just leave it the way it is. Oh no, I'm gonna put extra people in the cantina. Don't do that. We don't need that.
Well, it did make sense for Lucas to change Jabba the Hutt and A New Hope to what he actually looks like, but
Oh no, that is fine. But I'm saying like just throwing in ancillary characters like for no reason.
yeah. If it ain't broke,
Right? Like yeah.
right?
Like I don't remember that particular weird looking alien being in it. It's like, come on.
Oh, look at this.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I wonder if there's like comprehensive, detailed notes or essays about the science of liquid metal and the Terminator universe.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I know with Trekkies, they've got books upon books about the science of the technology and all that, and
Yeah.
how it could make sense, how it could be real.
Right.
I'm sure the same goes for a Terminator universe.
Mm. The weirdest part, it's so funny because with that blue lighting you were talking about earlier, that is clearly, seen in this scene right here. It almost comes off a little weird because Eddie Furlong says, "Can you even see anything?" Because the headlights aren't on. And he says, "I see everything." But we see everything because of the blue lighting. Like, it doesn't look like they're in complete darkness when, in fact, they're supposed to be in complete darkness right now.
Huh. Yeah, it's just blue lit.
Yeah, but he says to him, "Can you even see anything?" Because they're supposed to be in the middle of nowhere, driving in darkness, complete darkness, no headlights, no nothing. And yet we can clearly see everybody's faces. We can see that her shirt is white, his jacket is greenish. Like, you could see it all.
And may I add that the back window and the front, it looks really phony right now.
Yeah. The passing foliage looks
like a movie in the 40s or 50s where they're driving and you can see it. It just that scene always got me. Like, it looks so phony.
Where they always they're driving and like everything's passing and like this always never looks like what's behind it.
Yeah, that scene could have used a little bit better editing.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Again, if you're gonna cut funds to make the T-1000 look awesome, then I'm with it. Do what you got to do.
And now they break into a garage.
Oh, that's when she's pulling. I mean, she's about to do it anyway, but when she's pulling the.
Oh, the bullets.
Well, yeah, he stitches her up and then she pulls the bullet, or he pulls the bullets out of him. I think Eddie Furlong does it. I can't remember.
I think he does it.
We'll find out here in a minute.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Correct.
And John pokes in the bullet wound.
Yeah.
Bloody. Hello. That's great.
Oh yeah, there she is.
How she does it.
The data could be called pain.
It's crazy that those will heal up, but in real life that would take a few weeks, months.
Oh yeah, forget about it.
I don't know if his healing ability is. I think it's about the same as a. That's supposed to be a human body.
No, yeah, that's the whole thing with him. Is it's supposed to take as long as it would normally take.
Yeah. And right after this scene, there's a scene in a deleted scene in the special edition where Sarah is she actually opens up Arnold's head, pulls out the chip, and is about to smash it with a hammer. But then John stops her. It's like, we need him to protect us. It's like, but you don't know what it's like to kill one of these things. So that was a deleted scene. That was an awesome scene. But I guess they didn't really need it. Because we really know that Sarah does not trust Arnold as a protector. So
good point. Yeah, I think it would have kind of
been over.
I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's like a cool thing, adds a little extra drama. But I think that might have been the problem too. It's like this was still supposed to be a fun ride of a movie.
Yeah.
That might have kind of taken people out of it a little bit. You know, like, oh geez, it got too real. Plus, it might have been hearkening back too much to the first movie. Like, I don't know.
And it would have made audiences think of Sarah as like an unsympathetic character,
Right.
unlikable hero.
Right.
But she's sort of like an anti-hero. I mean,
she is. But then, like, how do you go from that scene to this scene right here? Him telling him no memo and hasta la vista, baby, and all of that. Like, you need that levity, you know?
these are the scenes that the audience needs. These moments. We could just like sit back and kind of take a breath from all the excitement.
I like when he says combinations. Chill out, dickwad. No problem.
Now the background in the car, it looks decent. I guess
Right.
It's daytime. I don't. It's weird.
How funny would that have been if like they were really driving at night and all of that was actually there, but it looks so fake because of the blue lighting or whatever. Oh, what a shame. Like, oh, that looks so fake. It's like, it really wasn't. They really were driving through this area and blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not what it looks like. Which, by the way, these kids look like they're carrying actual Berettas. Like, those look so much like Beretta 9mm. It's insane.
The prop department couldn't come up with something more toy-esque.
No, I think that was the point. It's like, make the guns look as real as you can and make it look like that's – because that was a big issue. I remember when I was a kid around this time, like, toy guns were starting to look so real. And there was a kid, I think he was in Brooklyn or Manhattan or something, got shot by a cop because the cop thought he had a real gun, and it ended up being a toy gun that looked super-duper real. So I remember there was some legislation that got passed where they had to make the tips of them orange so that cops could see from far away that the gun was a toy gun.
I mean, the tip was orange, or the whole gun? The tip was orange.
Yeah, like the tip of the gun had to be orange.
Right. I had one of those.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah, trust me, we all had them because of that rule.
And I think they got rid of them altogether, and then what became popular was Super Soakers.
Soakers, man, you took it right out of my head.
Nerf guns. Those were the two big gun fads.
Yeah.
I think we might have had a few battles.
Yeah, I had the SP50. It was like the yellow Super Soaker with the green bottle on the top.
Oh yeah.
And I know you had one too. I know you did.
I had the ones where they were a little more advanced, like in 93, 94. I don't even XP 175. They had.
You got a 175. I only had a 50, man.
There were so many.
I was gonna say, I think I remember like your birthday one year, and you got like a big, massive one, and I think you got a Nerf gun that year too, because I remember like us going in your room and playing with it afterwards.
It's probably accurate.
Yeah.
But those were great, man. Those were.
Oh yeah.
They don't make toys like that anymore.
No, man, no. Amanda and I bought a couple of Nerf guns like 10 years ago. Like, we bought a couple of Nerf guns. We were like, that'd be fun to just have them in the house, like shoot them at things and just for fun. And we were over it in like 10 minutes.
What I'd like to do is I've heard of these. They have Nerf like arenas, like parks where you go with like a group of people and you're like one team against the other, just blasting each other with, these Nerf bullets. I would do that.
More fun. Like I did laser tag for a while when it got big in like the late 90s in Staten Island. They had them everywhere. Whitey Ford was like one of those, like one of those PlayStation places or Fun Station, whatever. And they had a big, whatever, a big laser tag arena. And I was like, this is no fun. You're not shooting with like something that can hit the other person. Like, at least with Nerf.
Yeah.
You can hit them with
It's funny. And her friend, who is it? Julio or Miguel? I'm sorry. What's his name?
I don't even know. It's Her Spanish is so weird.
It's she's a gringa.
Yeah, she is a gringa for sure. At first, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like when she says whatever she says first, it sounds so bad, and then whatever she says next almost sounds dubbed, like she didn't say it. I don't know.
And they just live in this little trailer park.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her relationship is with this guy, but they've seen some stuff.
For sure.
They've been around.
See, right there, like him asking Uncle Bob, like with the question, with the inflection, it's very human. Uncle Bob, really? That's what you call me?
Oh. It's like, what is this small person? He's got this huge underground storage of like a minigun, a grenade launcher, multiple handguns.
Yeah.
Bolt right. It's crazy.
See, you still have a little subplot though, like even though she didn't try to pull the thing out of his head and smash it, like that didn't make it to the theatrical. I mean, the subplot of her wanting to kill Dyson, when really that isn't the way to solve this. It's not killing Dyson.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Like that's still a good subplot because she hates him more than anybody. And it's like, of all the people, like it's not his fault. Like obviously he didn't do any of that on purpose. He was a scientist wanting to expand. You know, he was trying to move us forward as a species.
So you're saying, yeah, if she had smashed the chip, she wouldn't have to have had to kill Dyson.
No. I'm saying like I'm saying because you didn't have that scene, which gets really dramatic if she does have this do I or don't I kill the Terminator here, like you kind of lose that drama, but you at least get that drama back of her wanting to kill Dyson.
Okay.
That's still pretty dramatic. You know what I mean? It's about like she's like, no, you're the reason why everything is over, right? So I think maybe that might have been where Cameron was like, we're getting a little too heavy-handed. Like first there's this really emotional scene of her almost killing the Terminator, and then there's this other super emotional scene where she almost kills Dyson, and the wife has to get in between them. You know,
that's a good point. Yeah,
it might be. I don't know if that was his thinking, but it could have been.
Interesting. And the scene that's with Dyson, his family, and the son, like, don't kill my dad. That's heartbreaking for me.
Exactly.
No,
exactly.
That packs a punch.
Yeah, so maybe Cameron was like, we already have a big enough scene like that. Let's
save it. Let's
just have that be the impactful scene instead of her almost ending the Terminator.
Yeah. Pete, did you have any of the action figures growing up?
Yeah, I had a T-800.
Okay.
I had the T-800. I think that was it. I think that was all I had. And I mean, of the Terminator line, I don't think I had the T-1000 or anything, but I had the 800, but not until the second movie came out. But it was just the T-800 with no nothing on them. You know, it was the endoskeleton. What do you got there?
Got what is it? Damn that background. Hold on.
Put him in front of your face, maybe. He's got the bandolier on. Yeah, nice.
Power Arm Terminator from Kenner, circa 1991. So yeah, I got this on eBay not fairly recently, and I just had to for sentimental reasons. It was I was a very young kid. I wanted this figure. My parents wouldn't get it. But then we came back home. We were out, came home, and I felt underneath my pillow, and what do you see? Power Arm Terminator. So that's actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite, childhood moments. And I had to get it again. It's mint on card, and it's gonna stay that way for a while, maybe until I give it to my future kids. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that figure really defines my childhood.
I get you, man.
You know.
I was I was more I was my toys were obviously I'm older than you, so I my favorite still to this day from when I was a kid. It's I love like my top five are definitely and in no order: Ninja Turtles, GI Joe, He-Man, Thundercat, and Silverhawks. But in the order, if there is an order, number one was the Silverhawks. Very short-lived television show, cartoon. It came on right after Thundercats. It was the same company, so I think maybe it was Saban or whatever Japanese company made Thundercats made Silverhawks. A lot of the same voice actors and stuff like that, and they were awesome. They were these alien humanoid, but they were all like how the Thundercats were all based on like a cat, like Lion-O was a lion and Tigra was a tiger and Chitara was a cheetah or whatever. The Silverhawks were also like one looked more like an eagle and another one looked more like a vulture and blah, 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 blah. And it was a complete ripoff of Thundercats. It was outer space, but, they were all different colored, all their armor. The only thing you could see of them that was humanoid was their face and their hands. Everything else was covered in silver.
Okay.
And they all had these wings. So like all their arms went down like this and you pushed a button on the back and their arms shot out like this and there was wings, like here, like almost like glider wings. And those are my favorite.
Pete, you ever see the movie Brazil?
No.
Oh, well, there's like a dream sequence in the movie Brazil where Jonathan Pryce, he's the main character, and he's got like this silver outfit with like wings, where he looks like a sort of like a knight in shining armor, but with wings. So that's what Silverhawks kind of sounds like. I never actually saw Silverhawks, but
I'm gonna check as soon as we're done with this. I'm gonna check out at least watch a trailer for Brazil or whatever because I gotta see that.
Cool.
That's awesome. This scene right here.
This is disturbing as hell. That's actually I think that's Linda Hamilton's actual son.
Oh no kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
Kind of weird to have your son in this scene.
Right?
I would not want that.
There's the screaming and the
Yeah. Blowing apart like paper.
That's so good.
Yeah. Oh God.
It sucked in, man. It's so good.
Wow. It's not creepy at all.
And that hitting like that and just watching the buildings disintegrate. That's but those death trap of those horses with the humongous springs. Funny how they just stay there. Just goes to show those things they're not meant for kids to play on. If they can survive a nuclear blast.
Yeah, really good acting. Powerful performance, Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, good stuff.
I don't really know her from anything else but Terminator 1 and 2 and Beauty and the Beast, the TV show in the early 90s.
Oh, Linda Hamilton? No, she was in a bunch of
Dante's Peak. There you go.
Dante's Peak. There you go. There's another movie, I think it was called Gotcha or something that she was in. Check her IMDb page. She's got a lot of stuff.
And she was briefly married to Cameron.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy stuff. They didn't have any kids, right? I don't think so. I don't think they were together that long.
I don't know. But there she goes, off to kill Dyson, or try to.
What a mind fuck that is to think of that. I made my father, who I was in charge of in the future, memorize this thing to say to my mom when I sent them back to the past. Okay.
It's kind of like a Back to the Future Part 2 paradox type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, what could happen if you altered the timeline? What could happen?
Oh, that's one of my favorite parts in Endgame when they start in Avengers Endgame when they start talking about, doing the whole time heist thing, which is the major plot of that movie, and I think it's the Hulk. At that time he's he's the doctor. He's Bruce Banner. He's a smart guy, and he's like, "Did you really just base your whole idea for time travel on Back to the Future?" and like they start going through all of them. It's like, no, it's all the future movies and yada yada yada. They start going through all the different movies. This whole part right here, because she's coming, and him driving that car around and stuff like. Right now, I remember being in the movie theater right at this moment in the movie and being on the edge of my seat, like ready for something horrible to happen. Like him working on the computer and then boom, the red dots on his back. And it's like, it's just insanity.
Yeah. It's very good pacing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Oh my God. Oof. Oof. That sound design.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh no.
Danny, go.
This.
Oh, and this chick, she was in so many things too.
Yep. I think she was on a TV show for a while. Not sure which.
Fame. I don't know if you ever saw that show. Might be a little too old for you. And I know we're not that many years apart in age, but I don't think you ever saw Fame.
Fame?
Yeah, it was a show about some dance school in New York City, and it was all these kids like trying to make it.
Wasn't that
based on a movie? Yeah, there was a movie called Fame, and then there was a television show. Debbie Allen was on it, which I mean, she's a dancer in real life. Debbie Allen.
And she was on there. This girl, this woman.
She was like one of the main. Yeah, and this chick right here, I think she was one of the students on the show.
Wow.
She was in a couple of things in the 80s.
Yeah. No, she's been around. Poor Dyson.
I know.
He didn't know. He didn't know the impact of his actions.
Patton Oswalt makes a joke about science, and he says, science, we're all about coulda, not about shoulda. It's so true. It's like you always think about, and then, or Ian Malcolm makes the same joke in Jurassic Park. He was so worried about whether or not you could, you didn't worry about whether or not you should. So
a great quote.
It's great. They give him all the best lines in that movie, by the way.
And he's barely he's really not in it a lot.
Right, but everything he says is super duper impactful.
Thankfully, he was the main hero in the Lost World.
Yeah, which he is in the book too, obviously. The book it's funny because I'm revisiting those books right now because Michael Crichton's my favorite author, and the books are just so good. Like I forget how good they are. Like the movies are phenomenal. And Lost World, obviously, none of them are as good as the first one. Lost World is still a very, very good movie.
It is.
But
where the series kind of stopped for me. I mean, the third Jurassic Park is good. It's not great.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. That's all it is, though. It's
there are two things I like about the third one. It's they brought back Sam Neill, which was amazing.
Correct.
And the pterodactyl scene on that bridge. I think excellently done. But
when the first one comes through, it looks like a person coming through the fog. Oh, oh, oh. So good. I saw that in the theater.
I think the first one in theaters.
I do. Yeah, I saw the first one. I saw all three of them in the actually, I've seen all five of them in the theater now.
Nice.
But I remember seeing the first one, and it was like McDonald's was pushing the whole Jurassic Park thing. That was when McDonald's would latch on to any big movie and do the Cup series.
I love that.
Yeah, Jurassic Park had their own Cup series. You could get the Velociraptor Cup, the T-Rex Cup. Great.
Now they're going to Tyson.
This is what I want to know about this scene. When he says show him, how does he know that he means cut part of your arm off?
Did they like talk about that on the ride over?
Right. Like
It's so specific.
Yeah, or and again, because the information wasn't put out there, or do they talk about it ahead of time and say, Dyson has this arm. He has this. You know what I mean? So you need to show him that this arm belongs to you. Like, yeah. I don't know.
Just jog his memory.
Yeah. And also, by the way, if healing is supposed to be such an important thing, why would you have him rip his arm off?
Good question.
Makes no sense. And then I like how she is like, she's so out there, man. Like, I'm going to sit on things weirdly in his house. I'm going to smoke in his house and put my feet on everything. Just very strange.
All right. Now they explained it all to him. And he's shocked, but he wants to do something. He wants to do good.
Right.
Poor Dyson. Pete, did you ever have any of the Todd McFarlane figures?
I was going to say, so the alien ones were Todd McFarlane.
Okay.
The actual alien figures were Todd McFarlane. And then, I had a couple of the baseball ones, which were bigger than the starting lineup ones, which I think starting lineup was also Kenner. I think so. Yeah, those were the smaller ones. They were only about 3 inches tall, but the larger players that were like 5 or maybe 6, I think they were 5 inches tall. I still have a bunch of them upstairs in boxes. And then,
nice.
I had a couple of the Spawn ones when they came out, but nothing stayed in boxes. Everything came out of boxes when I was a kid, So and then my younger brother, my half brother, he got all my stuff when I moved out of my dad's house, and all my toys were over there. And I don't even know if anything is still around anymore. I know he still has my Ninja Turtles, but I think that's it. I think like everything else, and the aliens. He definitely has the aliens.
Nice.
But yeah, the aliens they really took off with that because they were like made all these aliens that didn't exist in the movies.
I know. I
had to have all of them. There was a mantis alien and a bull alien. Like there was so many different ones, and I had to have them all.
We have the Queen Hive playset.
Mm-hmm.
That was all with the gelatin, the slime.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome. Yeah. Also Cameron, of course. Alien.
I was working part-time after school from 3 to 6. I was in middle school, and my dad got me a job working at Empire Bedding. One of his friends owned a furniture store. I got paid $4 an hour to sweep and like put small pieces of furniture together and stuff like that. And I literally only had that job so I could buy alien toys. I think it was called. Yeah.
That's a good motivation for you were middle school, you said? That's
I think it was 6th or 7th grade.
okay. That's great.
It was right down the street from my house. So I got off the bus right in front of there. I would work until 6 and then I go home. I only lived 2 blocks up from it. So it was a good little job. It bought me a lot of toys. But then I would just make sure that when I went, like I'd have my money. I'd go to my dad's house on that weekend, and my dad loved toys just as much as I did, if not more. So I'd say, I got some money. We're going to KB. Yeah, we're going to go to the mall. And we go to KB.
KB toys.
Pick out a couple of them. Oh, yeah. I'd pick out a couple, and then he'd say, oh, you got to get this one and this one. I was like, I don't have enough money for that. And he's like, I'll get them. That was always like my little ploy. We're like, but I don't have enough for all of them.
Come back next week.
Nope. He was like, no, we'll get them all now. There's the figure you have. That's him with the bandolier.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, that's the one you got in the box. That's
That's the hero, Arnie.
awesome.
I love this set. I love it. I think the exterior is just an office building parking lot, but the interior is a different. I don't know if the interior is the same as the exterior, so I don't think this is the actual office.
Right.
But it looks great. It matches up nicely.
Oh yeah.
He's so good. You see the beads of sweat, the frantic behavior.
Yeah.
That shot.
Well, he hasn't nailed the whole time.
Yeah. He's a great actor. And the bumbling security guards.
Just send everything.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Because that's what cops normally do. They just listen to random security guys. Oh, everything? Okay, we'll send everything.
Yep, that bandolier, I love it. Oh, we're about to get iconic Arnie moment.
I appreciate this scene too, though, like the Halon and when he brings him the masks.
Yeah.
The funny part though is like now they're walking in there, and it's all dispersed, so they really don't need the masks anymore. But Halon, what it does is it pulls oxygen. So like if you breathe it in, it sucks the oxygen out of your lungs. So I get why they needed it, but they don't really need it anymore.
What about residual Halon?
You wouldn't really suck it in like that. It's pretty heavy. It goes, right down.
All right.
I mean, if you can't see it anymore, then you're probably fine. That's why it's like, don't ever shoot somebody with a fire extinguisher in the face. Like, you can kill them.
Okay.
Oh, it's funny. Like, no, it's not funny. It's meant to suck the oxygen out of things so that, that's what fuels a fire, right? So it's like the first thing you learn in firefighting is like, yeah, don't shoot somebody with a fire extinguisher.
There you go. See, I didn't know that. I didn't. It's very.
Well, this was like in the Navy, like, it's like basic firefighting. They tell you that. And it's like, since we know you're all dumbass kids and we know you're going to do dumbass things, please don't ever shoot each other in the face with fire extinguishers because you could kill somebody. It's like, oh, I'm glad you said that because I totally would have done that. Because we were stupid. But I mean, it was a nice touch, the whole Halon. I don't know if there was like another thing to that, like he wanted them wearing the masks, he wanted that sound, because again, it just kind of adds to the drama, that, like I don't know what they were thinking with that, but I don't know. It was a cool touch.
It worked.
I just remember when he did it, I was like, I didn't think about it until years later, but it was a cool touch. Again, The freaking Game Boy, making everything work. I love it.
No,
The
that
Atari Lynx or whatever it was called.
yeah, that's an Atari.
I think it was a Lynx.
I don't know.
Because the Jaguar was the big system that they put out.
I just remember the Game Boy and then the Sega. What was the gigantic
Game Gear.
Yeah.
Amanda had a Game Gear and a Game Boy. I was like, what?
Nice.
Nobody had both. And she was like, I know, right?
You're right. One end of the spectrum or the other.
Yeah.
I was a Game Boy.
She had a sister, so like, they got one of each, and then they had to share them.
Shared it. That's cool.
Like, well, that's pretty cool. Her mom loves dolphins, so they had that Echo the Dolphin game.
I love that game. Most pointless game ever. You're just back and forth, I think.
Yeah.
That's about it. But it was fun. In a weird way, it was fun. All of it. Trust me. Classic.
Awesome.
Another scene for the sound system.
Yep. And the music finally coming back in.
Great score moment. Iconic.
That's a damn minigun. Nobody would say that. Nobody would scream that out. That's a damn minigun, everybody. We used to mount those out the window of the helo I worked on, and I got to fire them once. Because I wasn't a crewman, I was just a maintainer. I worked on the helicopter. I didn't really fly on them all that much. And I got to go up on a flight once and fire the 60 cal. And it was freeing, to say the least.
It would be.
Well, we had 50 cals. We had and those were pretty badass too. They were just, you had the butterfly trigger on the back, and you just hold it down. Same thing. Big old bandolier of rounds coming out the side.
Cool. And
you would just tear up targets out in the water. It was pretty fun.
Nice. Tales from the Navy by Pete Ayala.
Yeah. I worked in the ordnance shop, so we took care of all that stuff. So
cool.
We used to get to like take people to the range and teach them how to fire the weapons and stuff. So it was kind of cool.
Did you probably didn't deal with any remember that the rail gun and eraser? I heard they had those mounted on some war.
Yeah, I've never even seen that before. Never seen it before. I have no idea if that's. I mean, I guess it's real, but I don't know. I've never seen anything like that.
It'd be crazy to fire one of those. If it's like it was an eraser, that's totally badass.
Yeah.
Hey.
Nope, never had the chance. But I have fired a Gatling and I have fired a 50 cal, and those were. I mean, the 50 cal rounds are crazy. They're like this long and really big around, and they tear things up.
Is that a machine gun, or is it like just one at a time?
Oh no! It's automatic. It's just. Wow. I don't know how many rounds it fires a minute. I'm not that. I'm not the guy to talk to about guns. I got to fire it once and I thought it was great, but I'm not knowledgeable about them.
All right.
I was basically an electronic tech, but I worked with the ordnance guys. So.
Now, speaking of guns, in this, I think the SWAT guys are carrying MP5s, if I'm not mistaken.
MP5s?
Yeah.
Sure.
There's this game, I don't know if you ever played it. It was on the PS2.
Uh-huh.
It was Black.
Just Black?
Just Black. It's a first-person shooter.
Okay.
You play a special black operative. And it's very, the whole thing with the game, it's very cinematic. And they focus a lot on sound design of the weapons, and it feels like you're in a movie. This game is great. So yeah, I think MP5 was one of my favorite machine guns in the game, and I think that's what they're using in this scene.
Yeah, they're shorter. You could kind of hold them way closer.
Yeah, they're cool.
When I've gone to the range and I've gone to fire, I'm more of like I enjoy handguns. I like holding pistols. Not really you know, a rifle guy, especially anything that's that on, like pretty much semi-automatic. But used to fire a lot of M16s at the range, and those were fun to fire. They were fun to shoot, obviously, but they were still, you couldn't go any faster than you could pull the trigger. So it's like tack, 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 tack.
The M16 that also had the grenade launcher, right?
You could have one like that, yeah.
Thinking back to Predator, Arnold had that, I think.
Oh, you're thinking of an M60, 60, M60. That's a heavy machine gunner with the grenade launcher. My dad actually carried one of those in the Army.
Damn. It's badass.
Yeah, because in the Army you gotta have like 2 jobs. So my dad was a cook. Like he was a mess guy, but he was a heavy machine gunner. That was the second MOS.
Cool.
Which is funny because that's exactly what Roadblock was in G.I. Joe. He was their cook, but he was also a heavy machine gunner, and he carried an M60. So it's just like, my dad's like Roadblock.
That's pretty cool. Dyson. So sad.
So sad. Oh, this dude, the guy that says "Move It."
Breaking Bad.
Huh?
That's Hank, right?
Yeah, he's in like so many things, but he's also in. But he's in. We were talking about Walter White, Breaking Bad. Yeah.
That's and he looks pretty much the same here as he did.
Like he never ages. Like he looks the same in everything I've ever seen him in.
5 years.
This scene right here is very Die Hard-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds me of very much of Die Hard. The second one.
Die Hard.
Yeah, which I can't. I don't like Die Harder. I don't. I just don't. I love the first one and I love the third one.
Too. I mean, I've rewatched 2 numerous times. I actually watched it like a few months ago. It's okay, it's not great. It's a messy movie. It's like it could have been edited better. I blame the director, Rennie Harlan. If John McTiernan was at the helm, I think it would have been taken in a better direction. So, but yeah, Die Hard and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Yes, Die Hard with a Vengeance. That
Die Hard with a Vengeance is in my top 10 of action movies. It's in my top 10. Like
top 5 as well.
Yeah.
We might have to do a commentary on that, Pete.
Yeah. Oh, dude, all day long. All day long.
All right.
Him and Sam Jackson.
Perfect.
Wow.
They didn't have any scenes in Pulp Fiction, but
I know, right?
a year later, yeah.
Their chemistry in the whole movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really good. Oh, the fake
Tony.
The fake head of Arnold in this scene is so bad.
No. It's not a perfect movie, but it works. It works.
But the cool part about it was you could tell that the top part, the prosthesis of his head, was on a platform. Like it wasn't even a person. The whole thing that was moving the whole time. Yeah, it was definitely some sort of a puppet.
Interesting.
Which I thought was cool. And then this scene where he's knocking the guys over with the smoke grenades.
Gotta hurt.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, really, because those smoke bombs are supposed to like go, 150 feet away from you, 200 feet away from you. So to have that kind of propulsion for a canister that's probably weighs, maybe a couple pounds, maybe, I don't know, maybe like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds.
Yeah.
Look at, those things have to hurt.
Yeah. That'll break the skin, I think. It'll give you a bad bruise.
I would imagine so. Or at least, give you a horrible welt. It's so messed up. Hold this.
Yeah, hold it. Great. It's great. See, moments like that. Humor.
Yeah.
Really carries the film.
Anything's better than him saying "Stay cool" in Batman.
Yeah, the first Terminator. I don't think the first Terminator had any humor, really.
No, not a bit.
I'd say the only humor came from the two detectives, played by Lance Henriksen and the other guy.
Yeah.
Forget his name. Paul Whitfield, I think it is. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good pull. That's a good pull. You could have gave me 10 guesses. I wouldn't have got his name.
I think it's Paul Winfield. I could be mistaken, but they had some really good chemistry, really funny scenes together.
Yeah.
Other than that, the movie was just like basically a horror movie.
No, yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Sci-fi horror, for sure.
A very violent, I mean, I wouldn't even say action. Right. It's the sci-fi action horror, I'd call it. Right. Oh, this is great here.
Yeah, like, the worst part about it, though, is like, he kills everyone else, and I get it that this guy jumping out of the helicopter could have killed him, but it probably didn't. He wasn't that high. He's probably on the second story. He might have broken a couple of bones.
Yeah.
Doesn't he just kill the guy?
Well, he doesn't want the dead weight, so
Maybe.
He could have just slit his throat or stabbed him and pushed him out, but he sort of spares his life. You're right.
Yeah, that's the one part that always kind of irked me, because he wasn't covering anything up. Like, at least when he's not killing anybody out in public, it's because he wants to show the illusion that he's a cop or whatever, right? Like, even when he's pushing the kids out of the way at the arcade, he doesn't shoot that one guy until there's nobody else around except him and Arnold and Edward Furlong, and this unfortunate dude on his lunch break gets capped to death.
Right.
But again, no one's going to see that. You know?
He doesn't kill anybody unless it's absolutely necessary, or if they're like sort of in his way.
Right. But it seems like he has reckless abandon for killing people if no one else is around to see it, or it's not going to cause him some sort of consequence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, again, like, you don't want a bunch of cops coming after you. Even if you are the Terminator, you could do everything that he can do as the T-1000. You still don't want to have to deal with a bunch of cops. You know what I mean? Like, my primary target is to kill this kid, and these people are going to get in my way. I would rather just, circumvent them and get to the kid to kill him rather than bringing stuff on. But in a situation like that where there was no consequence, I could have seen him, like, making his hand like a giant hammer and just slamming the guy out the window. It's just like, boom, just knocking him right out the window.
But that would have just looked silly.
Yes. The more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe they were just saving themselves.
I pictured Dr. Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good in that, Christopher Lloyd. So good.
Good.
I think we just keep coming up with more movies to do commentaries on. Oh, okay. Let's do Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
It's all up here.
Fine, keep it up there, man. I said, what's so funny is, like, so I was talking to my buddy Alex. He's a huge movie buff, and he was the one that I asked for the movie originally. And I always say, like, Alex is like my brother when it comes to movies. Like, between my brother and I, we know everything. So if I don't know it, he knows it. So, like, when we're talking movies, like, if I don't know the answer, Alex knows the answer, and vice versa. When it comes to music or movies, because we're the same age, we watched all the same stuff growing up. And I said, I'm going to do this commentary tonight with my cousin. And I said, I knew he had his in-laws. That's the only reason why I didn't tell you. I was like, I really wanted Alex to come in, but he had his in-laws in town right now. And I was like, dude, you would love doing this, and you would love talking to Alex, because he's...
Yeah, I'm getting excited just hearing about it.
Oh, yeah, no, dude, you love talking to Alex. He knows so much more than I do when it comes to movies, and just,
Oh, boy.
See?
This guy.
No reason to kill that guy.
Yeah.
No reason. None. He already had... You all right? Throw him out of the way. Take his truck. No reason to kill that guy.
I think that guy would have put up a struggle, to be honest with you.
All he had to do was, but I mean, he's so strong. Like, you didn't have to stab him through the chest. Like, all you could have just chucked him off the wall. See, that's why the not killing the guy in the helicopter kind of throws me off.
Yeah, it's kind of off. Yeah.
I do like the humongous foreshadowing of showing that it's a liquid nitrogen truck. Like, just make sure you got that in the scene, that it says liquid nitrogen across the side of the truck.
Do liquid nitrogen truck drivers make rounds like that? Like, do they drive around regularly? Is that in demand? Some
No idea. I don't even know what you use liquid nitrogen for. Like, I mean, I know what you use nitrogen for, but I don't know if it's so needed. I don't know.
Well, it's a medical thing. Don't doctors use that on some surgeries? Because
Well, I guess, yeah, they use nitrous. I don't know if that's the same thing, but yeah, I mean, dentists use it, doctors use it, sure.
I actually reviewed a documentary last few months ago to a year about a veterinarian who uses liquid nitrogen in his surgeries for dogs, like to remove cancerous growths.
Oh wow!
Yeah, but I'm just curious why.
Oh, like he freezes the growths with them.
Yeah, he like goes really deep in there, freezes it, removes it, and it's effective. It works. I'm just curious why why they're transporting liquid nitrogen now.
Yeah. I'm also curious of why they're transporting it in a truck that says liquid nitrogen on the side. It still doesn't make any sense. Like, I drove hazmat vehicles before. You put a hazmat sign on the front and the back, and it's got a specific code to let you know what kind of hazardous material you're carrying. But you don't write it across the side, liquid nitrogen.
Oh well, it's another.
Like when I used to drive my dad was in plumbing for a long time, and we used to carry around propane tanks for torches and things like that. And you had to have the hazmat marker on the front and back of the truck in New York. You got to have that, but we didn't have a humongous sign on the side that said propane. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So, the liquid nitrogen on the side of the truck irks me.
I will say like Acme on the side of it, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, I love this scene here. He just
he just unloaded.
Blasts him in the face.
And the bouncing. It's so good.
It's such a small moment. But
yeah. And he wastes no time. You know, he shoots him as much as he possibly can to distract him so he can then turn the wheel, knock the truck over, get on top of the truck. Like, it's the one scene where it's like he's definitely not dicking around. He knew exactly what he was doing. But yeah, back to your question, like, also, are there metal workers working in the middle of the night like that? Like, that's weird too. Like, what does he know? All he knows is a truck fell over. Well, it's a good thing we have that alarm button right there to tell everybody to get out of here.
And this is a great set. I think there's a real steel mill that they used.
How could it not be, right? Like, there's no way you could duplicate some of the stuff that's going on right there. I don't think. Not 91.
Yeah.
Like, how would you duplicate all of that equipment?
They were searching for the right location, and this was like somewhere in California, some steel mill in California. It just fit perfectly.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, and this scene parodied in Hot Shots Part 2.
Part 2? So good.
It looks great, though.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's Stan Winston or a combination of Stan Winston and ILM. I don't know.
The look on his face, it's great.
Yeah.
It's a great scene.
Classic line.
And then, yeah.
This is actually in like the 100 greatest quotes.
Yeah. It better be in the top 10 of that 100. It's got to be up there with, like, I made him an offer he can't refuse, and even I'll Be Back's got to be up there. Like,
I think both this and that. So they're the only character to be quoted in the same list twice, or something. You know, even they're technically not the same character, but they are. It's weird.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, when you said that, I wasn't. It took a minute to register. You're absolutely right. They're totally not the same character. The T-800 from the first movie dies.
Yep, different model.
Yeah.
A little different.
Here's the thing that, oh my God, to this day, like you could have picked up all that stuff. Why are you letting it get all together? Like you could have done something. Right now you could be doing something. You could be putting it in your hand, like anything. Let's go. Let's get out of here.
Or Arnold could have just tipped over the molten lava
Right there. It was right there.
over into and destroy it.
It was right. Exactly. It was right. He's right next to it. Drives me insane.
That's frustrating.
Or even right now, hitting him with that grenade, running at him, like fire the grenade, throw him off, and then throw him into the thing. It's done. It's over. Nope. Let's string this out another 15 minutes. Which again, I get it because Cameron was like, I need to get everything I can of these falling, sparks that are coming from nowhere. Because remember, nobody's working right now. So where are these sparks coming from? It's all the sparks. Look at all these sparks. Where are they coming from? Why are there sparks just pouring? This is just so many code violations in one factory. And again, I know he's trying to kind of mimic the factory from the first one, where they're going through all the machinery and stuff, but now it's all the machinery plus molten metal everywhere. But
that makes sense.
I mean, we get to look at it through the lens of 2020. In 91, I questioned nothing. I was like, yeah, well, obviously. And now in 2020, I'm like, no, this is all wrong.
I love that stance.
Yeah.
Combination weapons. Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, since then, Robert Patrick, I try to look for movies that he's in because he brings something very special to every role. It's got this.
Were you an X-Files fan?
No, because when it came out, I was kind of young and it wasn't really
you were.
I think now if I start watching it, a lot of people have said I might like it. So
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you right now because it's dated. It's dated. I tried to start it again and watch it over again, but I will tell you this, that he does not come in until the later seasons.
Okay.
And I really like his character on the show. So,
does he play a villain in that as well?
Again, not going to tell you. But I will tell you, I mean, from the very first time that you're seeing him, he's another agent. He's another FBI agent.
Cool.
He's great. He's great on the show. He came in a time where what am I trying to say? The ratings were kind of going down. People were kind of over it, and they were trying to inject some new blood into it. And the show takes kind of a plot change at that point when he comes in. So he comes in at a really good time. He's a really good character on the show.
Oh.
You would think of him as kind of like a grizzled FBI agent at that point in his career as an actor. The age that he is at that point when he comes into the show, it's just he's a really good addition to the show. I love the show. I have the original trading cards from it. I got autographed pictures of Jillian and David, and I love all of them.
Cool.
Mitch Pileggi, I got an autographed picture of him as well.
Wasn't Gary Shandling in an episode? I think he was. Yeah, I think he had like a special guest appearance.
He might have been later on. A lot of people cameoed on the show.
Late night. But I have to. No, I've been told. Yeah, it's a really good show, and
Yeah. It was unfortunate because when the show was still running, because it started in what, 92? 93? Was it 93?
I think 90 to 93.
Yeah, which is funny because you could definitely see the difference between this movie and like the first season of X-Files. That looks like it was a PBS show. The video, the quality of it is so bad.
Okay.
But as it got into like the sixth season, yeah, if it was 93, the sixth season I had left for boot camp and, I was in A school and I just didn't have time for watching TV. So like I kind of fell out of X-Files for a while.
Yeah.
And I think it might have finally stopped. The first run might have stopped in 2000 or whatever. And yeah, I probably didn't watch the last 2 or 3 seasons of it because of, being in the military. And the early part of the military where you're in boot camp and in school and you don't know anything and you're just kind of learning stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just I fell out of it, unfortunately, at that point.
Okay.
But I would say just take it with a grain of salt because you're not most people that are going to watch something like that. You'll keep in mind of, this was the time that it came out. You'll keep that in mind as you're watching it. I think you'd be okay, and I think you would like it. The more I think about it, I'm like, it doesn't age well. It definitely doesn't age well, but Duchovny's great.
Well, does he? As long as he is kind of funny in it, in a dry way, right?
Oh no, he is. He is. If you like Californication, you'll love the X-Files because it's the same dryness, it's the same levity. It's good. Yes, he's definitely really cool. Like all I wanted to be was David Duchovny. I thought he was the cool. Like everybody else was like, I don't know, whatever, James Bond, Batman, whatever. I was like, nope, I want to be Mulder. He's the coolest guy on the face of the planet.
Okay. Did you ever see Evolution? The movie Evolution?
I love Evolution. I love that movie.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
You don't really hear about it a lot, but it was sort of like a hybrid of Ghostbusters and Men in Black. And
yes.
Audiences,
that's a great analogy.
Didn't love it. It's more of a cult following right now.
Oh, I love that movie.
It's a fun movie. Dan Aykroyd's in it.
Orlando Jones.
Yeah.
What's her name? Who I love? Julianne Moore. Oh, I love her. I love Julianne Moore. Love Julianne Moore. Like she's never been in anything where I've been like, this is a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Never. And I just remember after Sandy, she was after Sandy hit in Staten Island, she was in Staten Island volunteering and like helping. Mm-hmm. So I she has a special place in my heart, but I love her as an actress.
Nice.
She's just great. Big Lebowski, she's fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal actress. I'm just curious, Pete, what is this rifle she has? It's very cool.
Okay, let me see if I can figure it out.
You can name that weapon. Hold on.
Name that weapon.
Oh, the music here. Yes.
Yeah. No, this is when it hits. It's like when Rocky is coming back in the fight. It's
yeah.
Spot on, dude.
He's back.
That's how he had to know. She said, "I'm hurt." She wouldn't have said that. How did you not know that was not your mom? She never says, "I'm hurt."
It looks a little bit like the final set from Aliens, actually. It's got a little,
well, he loves that industrial look. He loves that construction look. Yeah.
He even did it in Titanic with Below the Deck. The workers with the coal and all that. Very similar lighting.
Oh yeah.
Fire. Oh, and
it would have been funny if she would have said like, "Get away from him, you bitch," or something like, I don't know. It would have been, I don't know. It's probably just like Mossberg, 50, Tactical.
Yeah.
It's just
It's badass.
it's
Yeah.
the one that a SWAT guy would carry around probably.
Yeah, from the video game I mentioned earlier, SPA-12. Does that sound right? I think it's SPA something. I don't
I have to look it up.
know.
But I'm pretty sure that's just like what she's carrying there is just like a Mossberg 50 with the pistol.
Off of the one of the SWAT guys, I guess.
Yeah, because it's a police. You know, they use it as a breacher. They use it as a couple different things.
Yeah. Oh.
That's so it right there. Like it's or not it.
The Thing.
The Thing. Yeah, it's so The Thing.
I love The Thing. It's making like this squealing creature sound.
Yeah, this part seemed a little like, all right. Like, really, he's going to change into the other things that he was? Like, really?
I like it. I think it's a smart
No,
touch.
no, I think it's cool, but it's like, what? Why would it do that? Like, is it too much data going on? And I don't know.
Chicken out.
Yeah. Remember all these things I was.
A naked Robert Patrick is the T-1000 in its purest form, I think.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in the future, did they just find a guy who looks like Robert Patrick? It's like, okay, this will be what he'll look like.
Right. Right. Yeah. Like, what? Why him? Okay.
Same with Arnold.
Yeah. It's funny too, because like Robert Patrick had to get in like crazy shape because he looks awesome in that first scene. Like he looks totally ripped.
Yeah.
And then I need a vacation. Like, why would he say that? But anyway. And then Linda Hamilton looks completely ripped, and Arnold came in and he was already ripped. He was like, "Oh no, I'm already in shape. Like, you guys need to work out. You guys look like shit. I look great.
You have to pump you up."
Yeah, we need to pump you up. You guys are not pumped. Yes. Everything.
Oh.
So weird.
Oh my God! Do you remember seeing this for the first time and crying your eyes out?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
It's about to happen for me right now. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it, mentally preparing myself.
Right.
That's a cool prop.
Oh yeah. I wonder who has it.
Like a keychain or something.
Right. Like who's still got that? Like you always.
I wouldn't be surprised if Cameron carries it around in his pocket.
Oh shit, man! But you're right. Like right there, when he points inside his head, that's the chip that she would have taken out earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it might have been cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it would have made more sense. Like, oh, it's a callback to when she almost took the chip out of his head and smashed it.
Yeah, it would have made more sense to keep it in, but
right. To make that scene, to say that scene where he points at his head.
And it was only like a 2-minute sequence too. It wasn't really that long of a scene. I don't know.
Hey, the man made his decision.
Yeah.
We have to respect it. Sad part.
Mm-hmm. Because you get so invested in the character.
Yeah.
Oh.
However, I will say the editing wasn't very good because when he says, "I order you not to go," there's nothing on his face. There's no tears. And then when they come back, he's already got a trail down this way and a trail down that way. Like, really? In 7 seconds, that much happened?
He's intense with his crying.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she's still like, yeah, whatever. Jump in the lava, dude.
Shut up and jump.
You tried to kill me 7 years ago, so I'm never gonna feel comfortable with you around.
Oh. And of course, the music,
Mm-hmm.
very emotional. I'm trying to think of other Arnold movies where he sacrifices himself at the end. The only thing that comes to mind is End of Days.
End of days, yeah, end of days. Um, it is nice though because you hear this music at this point. It really sounds a lot more like the music from the '80s from the first one.
Huh.
I think
Okay.
it sounds more synthy,
Mm-hmm.
more synthesizer-y.
I see what you mean, yeah.
It's soft,
Yep, you're right. You're right. You're right.
softer.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Because throughout the rest of this movie, they make it sound a lot. The clanginess of it and the punchiness of it is a lot more deliberate.
Well,
This one, obviously it's a more emotional scene, but still, it's definitely not as punched up sound wise.
okay.
And then of course there's
Ah,
the street. Yeah.
the road to the future. Hmm.
I get that the studio was thinking, man, can we make so much more money off of this movie? But you could have totally ended it right there.
Yeah.
There was no need to do a 3 or any of them. I mean, like I said, I really enjoyed Salvation, and I thought it would have been a good standalone later on down the line. But 3 really took away from, it just took away from the overall feel of how you were left with 2.
It didn't connect with the other movies. It didn't feel like it was the same universe.
Right.
Because Cameron wasn't involved. He wasn't the director. And they changed the cast around. So that really screwed with people's heads.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, okay, let's just make money off of this any which way we can. Let's totally ignore originality or story and just kind of give the people what they want, the masses.
Right. Let's do that money grab. Whereas, again, if you like, I like that you really, I really connected when you said that Salvation stands alone, because if you could have done that, you could do. It's like the new Mad Max that they did with Charlie Theron and whatever. Like,
Yeah.
it's a reboot, but it's more of a reimagining. And I felt like Salvation was kind of more of a, this is my take on this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you think about it as a comic book, right? Like, you have different people that'll get their hands on a comic book, like Frank Miller gets his hands on Batman, and it becomes a completely different thing.
Right.
That's how I felt about Salvation. I felt like you could have even left it alone, like not brought anything into it other than just let it be its own thing and end it right there. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we see how well that worked with the Joker movie, right? Like, we have this completely different imagining. We have a completely different story. Everything is different from what you've seen before. We have this one shot and you're done, and it's great. You know what I mean? So I think 3 was too much of a money grab, and then everything that came after Salvation, which really doesn't feel connected to the Salvation universe anyway. It feels like it's more like trying to connect back to T3.
Yeah.
It didn't do it for me. Yeah, it didn't do it for me.
It would have been great to see what they did. I think they really should revisit the Salvation timeline and just keep going further into the future and kind of hint at the stuff that they did in T1 and T2, but just keep continuing the story of Bale have him get older. And
Right.
see what happens. Like he trains a new generation of soldiers.
Yeah.
Just keep going with that universe and leave this one alone.
Yeah. I would have even liked to see maybe like a graphic novel or something come after it, because you'll see that a lot. Like they did that with what were those Vin Diesel movies?
Fast and Furious.
Huh?
Oh, no, not Fast and Furious.
No.
Riddick.
Yeah, Riddick. The Chronicles of Riddick. Like they ended up making some animated, and then they did some comic books on the side where they continued on the story and didn't have to do it because then they made that last Riddick movie and it was just bad. I liked Chronicles. I liked Pitch Black, and then I liked Pitch Black. I liked Chronicles, and then Riddick came out, and I was just like, why? Like, you didn't need this. So yeah, I think T1 and T2. I will never look at. I will never look at them as connected to anything else. I'll just always look at them in a bubble by themselves. Cameron at his best, doing what he did, and that'll be that.
And there you go, guys. End credits are over, and that is a wonderful film from Mr. Jim Cameron. A visionary. We can't praise this man enough. He has every movie he's involved with is, I wouldn't say it's gold, but it's pretty high up there. And it's just everything. You want to see what direction this man is going, because he's a pioneer. He's a true artist, and his filmmaking ability is evidence of that. Yes. So, Pete, I want to thank you so much for being with us, with me and everyone watching. This was a lot of fun.
No, it really was. I really enjoyed it. I was pumped to do it. It was so much fun to get into it. I almost kind of feel bad because we went off on a lot of tangents because of me, but at the same time, isn't that what really good cinema does? Like, it brings you back to a time, it brings you back to that moment in your life, and it reminds you of all the other cool things that you liked. So at the same time, maybe we got off the beaten path, but I think it was cool. I hope everybody else enjoyed, like, taking some of those side roads with us and talking about those other things, because that's what these things do. They really focus on a time in our life, and they bring us back to that point and remind us of all the things that we really enjoyed about going to the movies, following specific directors and creators, and really enjoying their stuff. And James Cameron's just another one of those guys where it's like, we just can't wait to see what he does moving forward.
And this movie is perfect for our commentaries, because there's, like you said, there's so many tangents, so many directions we can go into, and it's really exciting and fun to see what the next topic of discussion is going to be. So, Pete, I want to thank you again. This was amazing. We'll have you again soon on. Come back on.
Most definitely. This is great.
Awesome. Well, everyone watching at home and on your devices, I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'm your host, Unger. This has been Under the Radar presents Movie Commentaries, and we'll see you next time. Take care.